So for me to do this, or this, or even this, I need energy. And I get that energy from eating food. My body breaks that food down into glucose, which my mitochondria convert into ATP via cellular respiration. Basic bio stuff. But that glucose doesn't just up and teleport into the cells, right? So how does it get there? That's where my handy little buddy insulin comes in. Insulin is an anabolic peptide hormone, which, in simple terms, means it's a protein we use in biological reactions. It's first produced by beta cells in the pancreas, and then it floats through the bloodstream, which is called endocrine transport, until it gets to your cells and binds to their insulin receptors. These insulin receptors are made of alpha subunits, which are outside the cell, and beta subunits inside the cell. The subunits are held together by disulfide bonds. The insulin binds to the alpha subunits, which causes a conformational change and activates tyrosine kinases in the beta subunits. Attached to the beta subunits is also tyrosine, an amino acid, which the tyrosine kinases phosphorylate using an inorganic phosphate from ATP. This kicks off what's known as a phosphorylation cascade, which is a fancy way of saying this kinase gives this kinase a phosphate, which 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 gives... you get the point. Anyway, the end result of this phosphorylation cascade is the phosphorylation, and therefore deactivation, of a protein called AS160. Now, here's why AS160 even needs to be deactivated in the first place. For glucose to get into the cell, it can't just diffuse straight across the membrane because it's too big. Instead, it has to diffuse through GLUT4, which is a protein channel that sits itself in the cell membrane and is like, hey, glucose, you're chill, come on in. The thing is, GLUT4 is usually found in vesicles floating around in the cell, but it's not much use just floating around like that, right? For GLUT4 to actually let glucose into the cell, it has to be in the cell membrane, because that's how protein channels work. AS160 is inhibiting the translocation of GLUT4 from the vesicles to the cell membrane. Once AS160 is phosphorylated, though, it's deactivated, and GLUT4 is free to go about its day. Once GLUT4 is in the cell membrane, all the glucose molecules can diffuse into the cell and party it up with the mitochondria. We all know the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, so it uses that glucose to produce ATP, which we need to do basically anything you can possibly think of. And I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty cool.